Folks, it's Dr. Shawn Baker here once again. Look, I know there are a lot of concerns about, shopping and what do I get for a low carb diet or a meat-based low carb elimination diet. Well, let me try to make that easier for you. So first of all, a lot of people say, well, it's expensive to do a meat-based diet, and that's not really true. Now, I eat a lot of ribeye, and if you're eating mostly or only ribeye, you're going to spend a little bit more money, but that doesn't mean you have to do that. You can certainly do much cheaper options: ground beef, ground lamb, other ground bison, things like that tend to be very cheap. Bone-in pork chops, skin-on poultry, those things tend to be very economical. And of course, eggs. Well, prices have gone up a little bit. They're still relatively cheap for the amount of nutrition that you get in them. And also you can buy in bulk. Also, don't hesitate to, utilize your local ranchers. Those guys actually can get you a side of beef or a quarter beef for a fairly decent price as long as you have the freezer space for that. Consider doing that. Now, remember, there are a lot of other expenses that you spend money on that, when you fix your health, you don't need to spend those. A lot of supplements, a lot of other foods that go bad, doctor visits, pills, medications. You're going to be saving money in a lot of places. So don't skimp on good nutrition, guys. Do the best you can with the resource that you have, but prioritize good, high quality nutrition. Now, again, it's not complicated, it's simple. When you may just have to go to one section of the store, the meat counter. That's pretty easy. Again, if you're getting it in the grocery store, if you avoid the center, most grocery stores are laid out to where all the hyper processed, ultra processed kind of human pet food is kind of in the center of the store, and then the edges will have the meat, the dairy, and then some of the produce sections. So stick to those sections and avoid the center, and you'll generally do well with that. All right, if you have picky family members and none of them are going to eat meat or meat-based diet, there's plenty of delicious meat-based dishes that almost everybody loves. You can start with bacon for that, pepperoni, breakfast sausage, hamburger meat, any types of eggs, certainly many steaks. Chicken can be very good. Lobster, barbecue, those things are all wonderful. You'll notice that all these foods are generally delicious, easy to cook. They often are family friendly, and they are inherently meat-based and therefore low carb. Perhaps your whole family's not going to be 100% meat-based, but you can provide them things to eat with you while you're eating your largely meat-based meal. As far as shopping on this, think about protein as a first priority. Protein are the building blocks for much of our structural tissues, our bone, our skin, our organs, our muscles for sure, even our brain, and all the cells in our body require some protein. So make sure you get plenty of protein in there and prioritize that. I think you're going to do well with that. There's no specific meat that you must eat on a meat-based diet. Many people prefer the taste of beef, and it's very common, and certainly you can't go wrong with beef in my view, but you don't have to eat that exclusively. You might prefer lamb, you might prefer pork, you might prefer game meat perhaps. Fats, now this brings up the point of fats. Now you need to have adequate fat in there. Now in many cases, the fats that come with meat will be more than adequate. Now if you're eating particularly lean cuts, you might have to supplement your fats. And so how do you do that? Well, you can stock up on things like duck fat or goose fat or lard or tallow. Those are options that you can utilize that can be very helpful. Avoid the partially hydrogenated fats, the seed oils, the Criscos, the margarines. Those things are all garbage, so completely avoid those. Now, a lot of mayo has got just nasty oils in there, so avoid it. There are a few companies that use some better oils. You might want to look into some of those. And then, if you are eating vegetation, then you can use, non-starchy vegetables tend to have a better glycemic response for those people that are worried about the carbohydrate consumption. Now, you're going to obviously pick things that you tolerate well, but again, the non-starchy ones, herbs and spices certainly can flavor meat, and there's many people that tolerate those fine, and there's nothing wrong with that if you tolerate that. That is something that is going to be up to personal choice. Some people with more complicated issues may stick to a very limited menu for a period of time until they can get that under control. Foods to avoid, again, grains, legumes, potatoes, sweet fruit, and sometimes dairy, and then again, anything that's hyper-processed or ultra-processed, with 20 or 30 ingredients there is generally going to be helpful if you avoid those types of foods. So things like pastas, breads, cakes, muffins, waffles, pancakes, sweetened drinks, those things are off the menu. All right, so here's another thing that's important is picking a time to shop, schedule it, and try to do that when you're maybe after a meal. So don't go in there, on a whim or when you're hungry, and then you're going to make all these bad decisions. Go there when you're well satisfied, you've got plenty of food in your belly, and then you can make rational decisions about how you do it, because a lot of the foods in the supermarket are marketed to people to buy on impulse. And, when you're hungry, you're more likely to fall prey to that sort of aggressive marketing tactic. So anyway, if this has been helpful for you, let me know. Let me know what kind of tips you guys use for shopping or planning your menus in the comments. Hopefully this has been helpful. Please like, subscribe, click the notification bells, and we will see you guys real soon. Bye-bye now.